Hello, and welcome to the next craft. We're just doing an overhead view today because I'm testing out my new overhead camera. But here is today's crafting stuff. I've been on the hunt to try and find all my stuff from my visit to Amsterdam last summer, which I have found. And I've got some bits and pieces out. And yeah, if you've seen one of my, I did a sketchbook video before. I just did the base layer in my most recent travel journal, but we're working back on the old one, which as you can see is well loved. By the way, I'm doing this kind of blind, so if you see me popping in like this, it's just to check that it's still filming and I'm in view. Also excuse my squeaky chair. So yeah, so it has all my visits from 2003 to 2004, 2 trips to Paris with me, right, a trip to Paris with just me, and a trip to Amsterdam just me. So what I'm going to be working on today is some more of the Amsterdam stuff, having found a lot of my postcards and bits and pieces and stuff to work from. And yeah, if it makes you feel better, I literally just now went and found a whole load of my stuff for this trip to Amsterdam. I mean, look, I've got my pin badges, I've got my patch from the Van Gogh Museum. So yeah, so I found all the stuff I've really desperately been looking for. And if you have heard me talk before, I'm making a Dutch art wall in my living room, and I've been desperately looking for some postcards that I knew I bought that I wanted to put on the wall, and I found them. So yeah, because I want to put this one up on the wall, and I also want to put up, this is the one I've got a needle point of, that I'm very impressed that I have a needle point, didn't even realise. I'm going to put that one on the wall as well. So yeah, so I've got these lovely postcards, bookmarks and stuff, and maps, and yeah, obviously not going to put the pin badges and the patches in, they're going to be going on jackets, but I'm very happy to have found them. And I've got a whole load of photos and stuff. So yeah, so we are going to be working with my new acrylic markers I bought the other day from Home Bargains for £4.99. I've never had acrylic markers before. I was also saying about finding stuff. I found metallic paints I didn't even know I owned, so yeah. And I found another craft for a studio another day. Please excuse the squeak, it's going to get on my nerves, but hey, solar photo prints, which I thought would be a fun craft for another day. So we're going to do this, it's due to be sunny next week, so that's going to be a fun craft next week. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing them. So, but that is another craft for another day. Today we are working on my sketchbook by just sticking things in, collaging, junk journaling, and adding some drawings on top. I do have my phone to hand, which has got all my pictures, a lot of my pictures on, and obviously I've uploaded them to a folder, I think on Facebook. So yeah, so I've got them. I've got glue sticks, scissors, paint markers. I don't really want to do full-on painting, like these kind of my little travel watercolours, but I do have a lot of my pens in here as well. So yeah, so we do have supplies to add in and draw onto, which is very good. And I've also got some like little, I like making like these brown paper booklets and cards to stick in and work on top of, so we have those as an option. So yeah, so let's crack on with it and just work for a bit. I'm just going to work on this, and you guys will get a lovely time lapse for the craft vlog. But if you are watching this video and you get the extended edition, this is the second sketchbook video. I know it's not the same sketchbook, but it is a sketchbook. And I'm being very, very kind to myself right now, and we're just giving ourselves nice things to do. So that is what we're going to be working with. So yeah, so just roll with me, be kind, you know, be good. I think that was going to get stuck in there. See, loads of stuff I started to work on, you know, bits and pieces, but other stuff, you know, I did get quite far in some bits, and I drew like in the hostel I stayed in. These were my roommates. Yeah, some pages I think are quite complete, like the art shop page. I like that. That is as is, you know, but and a lot of the collage stuff I did for the Van Gogh Museum came out wonderful. I just need to now add the paintings and drawings into it. So yeah, so I made the most of, if you're ever in a museum, ask for the, no, if there's kids trails, ask for the kids trail leaflets, because it's amazing what you get, and that you could use. So yeah, some bits are going to take some time because I went to use my jelly gouache and it has dried up, so I cannot use that right now. So yeah, but you know, some bits I really was pleased with what I worked on before in here, and come up with cool ideas. Like this is going to be, I'm going to draw and paint the rest of the painting on, and this I'm going to go in, you know. So yeah, and some things I just sketch down the basic ideas, or I do little notes to myself, as you know. So yeah, so we are going to work on this, and just, yeah, get going with it, which will be fun. So, and there's just a couple empty pages at the back, which is pretty good, so not anything major. So there we go. I will apologise, I will keep saying so, and as you know, I'm currently in my break from any major big things right now, because if I'm entirely honest, my mental health is absolute garbage, due to an incident recently. It has basically really badly set off my PTSD responses, so my brain is on hyper alert 24/7, and I find just life exhausting right now, which is not fun, and it's not how I want to live, but that is how my brain is perceiving everything right now. So that's kind of what we're rolling with, depressingly. So thankfully I did also find photographs I took on the way, so I can use these as, rather than digging through my Facebook, I can just use the photographs. Like, here is me painting, and there's the painting I did while sat there. So that might actually be fun just to stick on the side and have it flap open as to what I was doing. So I might actually attach that in. So yeah. So that's kind of what I've been learning now, is to add in, if you want to add in a bit of photographs, you can. It's not the end of the world. So that's quite nice to actually do now. So I love doing that. And I think Van Gogh stuff. Loads of really good bits of Vondel Park, which is where basically I stayed next to, because I that was the hostel I stayed in. It was a very nice hostel actually, so I liked it there. It's my first time ever actually staying in a hostel, so two tattoo pictures of the tattoo, so I can use them to draw it nicely. Lego. Silly things that I've put, drawn cheese shop. And the flower market was spectacular. That's the canal. And there's just other random pictures chucked in. If you haven't seen it, I went to the Moulin Rouge and I made my own version of the tailor dress from yeah, there I am coming back at silly o'clock in the morning, and it was spectacular, because yeah, if you ever wonder what Paris is like at 1 o'clock in the morning, magical is the answer. Yeah, so 10 out of 10. But I think that will do for now with the photos, because I can always get some more out. Let's double check it's still going. Yep. There we go, see? So we've got pictures for various things as and when, but I think we're just going to look at what we got and see what we want to stick in, basically. I've used a lot of right stack things already. I think I was just going to put some generic Amsterdam cards in to work on the back. I thought would be fun. See, that would be fun cut out, I think, and then work on it as a layer. That's why it's always worth picking up, by the way, the cheapy postcards of like 1,000, 10 for €1. They're really good and they're really fun. So, and you can just cut them up and work with them. So yeah, so we're going to kind of work with that today. I mean, look, I've already attached one there to work on too. I can do something to the canal there. That's the park. Let's just pick a space. I'm being a bit here, there and everywhere, and I'm a bit dithery today, but that's kind of how I'm rolling, to be honest. It's not the most fun. I feel constantly almost like, if you can see it, shaking and on edge. It's a nightmare. I hate being like this, if I'm entirely honest. It is not my idea of fun. So I think those two might go in there. I'm going to use some of the fun Dutch stamps I've got. I picked up a stamp book, very, very cheap, from my local Oxfam bookshop. It was an old one because, yeah, the German ones aren't usable, funnily enough. But yeah, but these are quite fun, so I might do something with some stamps, and there are some more on the back as well. So yeah, I'm going to use these, and these are just ones I had that I put in because it's got bikes on it. So of all the things you learn in Holland and Amsterdam, you do not fuck with a bike lane. Okay, they will come get you. They are serious over there. So what's VGM? I've got no idea what that is. Sometimes my notes don't make sense. Really, I'm not doing well today. I put these weird stresses on myself, and I've just been rambling for 10 minutes. I apologise, but it is how it is. Let's just stick some stuff in, let's have some fun. And I should fill this in with stamps. That'd be fun. Would you believe I built this chair and it's still this damn squeaky? It's not very good, is it? We will live with it. So we're going to give ourselves some bites. We're just going to make ourselves a little collage of stamps. I don't know if these are worth anything, but they've got dried elderly sellotape on the back, so I'm imagining not. So, and the fact that the whole book was like £3, and if I'm entirely honest, I'd rather recycle it as an art resource than it go to waste. So that is what we're doing. Stop squeaking, Gerald. There we go. This is quite haphazard. That is is what I'm in the mood for today. We're just going to go for it. Right. You know, it's also nice that because I've been organising bits slowly, as well as resting an awful lot, I have been categorising and putting my stuff together. So a lot of these resources I've bought over time, I'm now putting together so they can actually be used. So that makes them and me, it's more of a resource and feels a hell of a lot less hoardery, because I'm not just bought things going, that can be for this. Here I am using the thing for what it is intended. So yeah, it does make me feel better that I actually am using things for a purpose and not just, I'm actually putting my money where my mouth is, you know. I'm not being precious about stuff. These are fun and colourful and interesting, and rather than be on a book on my shelf, I'm sure they would look much more fun in this little book of all my travel adventures that old lady me is going to thoroughly love looking through, going, oh my god, look at all the things I did. And although right now my mental health blip feels massive, I know that future me is going to be really, it was a tiny blip in what will be my life. So what feels massive now really isn't, and I know that. But again, the downside of being very obvious is that you know these things, but it doesn't make your brain any less, you know, over the top about every bloody thing. This is like a therapy session, but then again, talking to you guys is my therapy. Because yeah, if you've not, you know, met me before, or you wonder why, what the hell is Sketchbook vlog 2 or video 2, it's me rambling to you guys for my own personal therapy, basically. There we go, used all the stamps off that page. That's pretty amazing. So let's stick these last ones on and then stick it down a bit better. So, but yeah, so I literally ramble to you beautiful people, and I feel better for it. But yeah, it's fun times. Okay, see, look at that as a collage. Is that not so much better? I'm going to save the cat for something else. I don't know what, but something where it needs a cat. For fuck's sake, that made me jump. Really, neighbour? 2 seconds. There we go, I've turned a light on. Neighbour decided to start cutting the grass, so close the door. That's the most I can do, but apologies for that. Let me jump. They have a whole like 3, not even, you know, 2-3 foot of grass, but then again they do so much works and bits, so yeah. And it is, I'm filming this on a Saturday, so people can do things on a Saturday, but still, why? So yeah, so there we go. But no, this is very fun and therapeutic. Oh, just a whole load of stamps. Down. See, now it looks like one of those sort of pre-made bits of paper rather than a whole load of old stamps out of a book. So there. So interesting. I realise that could mean Van Gogh Museum, but why would it be with the boat thing? I don't know. It's a bit weird. But yeah, so there we go. But no, this is very fun and therapeutic. This is like a therapy session, but then again, talking to you guys is my therapy. all this is Van Gogh. How many pages did I assign for the Van Gogh Museum? Because there's quite a lot there. There's a bit of drawing could be done on there. This one, that one, that's on there. Let's have some fun, I think. Let's do something a bit out there. Let's go in with, this is the stencil of my tattoo. This is my tattoo, and here it is a year later. Looking very good. So yeah, let's just get a acrylic paint marker and go for it, I think. And we're just gonna go a bit, thankfully obviously I've sketched it beforehand, but we're just gonna go in. Life's too short. Because if you want to know who did my tattoo, it was the wonderful, yeah, Lovelorn Tattoo. They have now got their own little shop in Amsterdam, and they do the most beautiful black and white fine tattoos. You can get flash, or you can get something custom done, which is what I did. So yeah, and it's very good. So yeah, this was to celebrate my year of healing. And it sounds stupid, with my favourite type of paintbrush, because obviously artwork, a la this, especially sketchbook work, and sewing were very, very healing for me. So yeah, just crafting in general and talking. Obviously I've now got into crochet as well, so I have that to add to my repertoire, which is a fun thing. Obviously I love crochet. I've been doing more working obviously while doing this stuff, and this like little week of creativity video I'm working on, while I'm having my, this week is my mental health week, and then I've also got next week is like my week off, but it's very nice because sorry, just concentrating. It means I can work a bit longer on a nice video, which I'm very much, I will say, enjoying. So yeah, no, it's very fun to do something just because I fancy doing. I was inspired by another YouTuber who was like, let's do a week of creativity, and I'm like, that is such a lovely sentiment. And obviously I have my fingers in lots of crafty pies, so I was like, that would be so fun to do. Hence trying out all these things, and also it gives my brain a very pleasant distraction if I'm like, let's do crafts, and make myself kind of do crafts when maybe I don't want to do much, but if I do it I feel better so quickly. So yeah, so we're doing crafts for our own mental health, and it is such a bloody good idea. So yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're like, I'm no good at art, I can't do that, it doesn't matter. I have got a really cool thing I had saved. I was going to do it when I last stayed at my sister's house, but we just never got around to doing it. Of these like paper portraits people were doing on TikTok, which I thought was a really cool idea, where you just get like kids craft paper and just cut out, you know, bits and pieces, and do like silly non-realistic paper portraits of each other, and that was the whole point, was that it was meant to be fun and silly, and I thought that was such a fun idea. So yeah, so if you want to look up paper portraits on TikTok, and yeah, honestly, so fun. We never got around to doing them because we just sat watching crap on YouTube and then doing some other stuff, but we do plan to, and I've got the supplies now, so it's like, well, we can do that whenever. So yeah, so we have it saved ready for when we would like to do it, so very happy with that. So these are so cool, by the way. I don't know why I haven't bought acrylic markers before. It's all the pleasure of using acrylic paint, but you know, you get it's much quicker to dry. So yeah, I remember us talking and she was like trying to add little bits so it really looks like stitched in, and I do love how it looks like properly stitched in with, and she did tiny shadows. And yeah, there was one bit she was like, I do not ever add white, but, and she was impressed with my other tattoos. She did point out, she was like, said, you know, I should probably check if there is she, I think that's she, using the right pronouns for people. Always a lovely polite thing to do. Let's double check. Oh, here we go. It's Sideshow Jen Tattooer. They don't say, but we're going to assume, if you know, they are, if they had a thing they'd say what it was. But yeah, but no, she was like, going to add the tiniest bit of white actually to one bit, because she was impressed that on my owl tattoo I've held white ink in my skin. When I said about the age of this tattoo, she was like, wow. She was like, your skin is, she got a compliment. My skin was really good for tattooing, which I thought was very nice. But yeah, so you know, that was a nice little compliment to get. But yeah, so my skin holds white ink, which is quite unusual because obviously people are, ooh, white ink fades. Not on my skin, because I am that pale and I do look after my skin. So there we go. That's pretty good, I'd say. So there's that. I might add some washes or bright colours around it actually. Yeah, that would be quite fun. And it's the thing I've been I will say I've been living on TikTok of just where you do a thing and then you add like a really bright background, and people, you know, and I'm like, that's such a damn good idea. So yeah, so we're going to add bright blue, I think. Although I'm thinking rather than acrylic markers I might just do paint. I do have some paintbrushes to hand, and this is metallic paint, which I think will look really damn cool. Let's open these up. Oh, it's me saying I'm not going to paint, but you know, I leave a little layer and then I can just, you know, rather blue, let's try green. Oh yeah, I like that one. I have a little pot of paintbrushes right near me. But yeah, is it going to cover the blue? Of course it's not. But does it matter? Of course not. Why? Because this is my book. And this is a drawing I've just done of my tattoo. So we are all cool to do what we wish. Sometimes stuff looks good, sometimes it doesn't. And do you know what? It's fine. Am I having fun doing it? Yes. Is it making my brain feel a bit less panicked and a bit less on the edge of a constant panic attack? We're getting there. So, you know, that is all that matters right now. So there we go. Literally why I took an art degree. Not because I was like, I'm going to go get a career in the arts and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I did it because it made me feel better after losing my dad. And I was like, it's the only thing that makes me feel anything right now is doing art. So that's what I chose to do. And I just learned that. Not that you can really learn art in a institution kind of thing. It's not anything you can really be taught. You can just be given advice or get, you know, assistance on some bits, but it's not really a taught subject. Get critiques, which can help. But yeah, it's one of those things. I do wish I'd been taught like about, you know, colour theory or something like that, but no, it was just lots of crits. But then again, that's kind of what I needed at the time, so I like that. Cool, I will wash this brush, by the way. In fact, give me 2 secs, let me just go get a tiny pot of water to put this brush in. There we go. So I'm not doing my own thing I grizzle about people that leave paintbrushes to go off. Horrible. So yeah, so that is fine. I will just leave a bit of paper over that while it dries, just so we can carry on working. So that was the cheese shop. This was the flower market, which I loved the flower market. So pretty. So I think that should go there. I just need a rubber really to get rid of the pen markings. So I have a clicky pencil in here. Everything but a clicky pencil. Oh, I thankfully have art supplies everywhere in my house. So yeah, clicky pencil because I want the rubber. Rolling in it. Oh. So yeah, spark on another bit. What about the flower market? This was the floating flower market next to the canal. It was very, very interesting and very, very pretty. Yeah, I liked it. Didn't really buy tons from here because couldn't really bring back any seeds or bulbs. Not that apparently the bulbs are very successful. And also sort of put this up here so I've got a bit more of an easier visual to go from. Not that the bulbs are very successful apparently, so yeah, I just thought it wasn't worth the effort of having my case then searched and being bollocked for bringing stuff back into the country I shouldn't have. So yeah, bear in mind if you're coming back from Amsterdam, they're probably extra vigilant on you anyways, you know, thinking you'd be bringing back, you know, the old, as the oldies call it, a wacky backy. But yeah, I have never took a drag of a cigarette in my life, so that is something actually I'm quite proud of, weirdly. But yeah, it's the only thing I felt the need to try or want to try, so I just haven't, which is always pleasant. but it's me saying I'm not going to do any painting. Gets paints out. Does painting, but I'm going to work with my acrylic pens as well. So, but actually what I really want is, I just want to get colour down, because if you see in the picture like the blended browns and stuff, I want to get some of that in. So I'm thinking a bit of them watered down. So then it gives a nice little bit, and then I'm sure if I go into the white a bit, normally it's going to come out much. This is where the white acrylic pen will come better, but I can always, yeah, that's made no difference. Oh, I know what I could do to make it fun. I've got the bronze paint I actually bought in Amsterdam from the Van Bleek art shop near the Rijksmuseum. It was very fun. I love now going to a I think let's use brush. When I travel now, I like going to a art shop and buying something of, you know, that place. So then I've got something as a really cool like forever souvenir. So these are my Rembrandt watercolours that I bought round the corner. Literally the shop is like on the same road but just a bit further down, round the corner from the Rijksmuseum, where his stuff is on display, which I thought was pretty damn cool. Let's just work some colours stuff in the background, and then we're just going to draw on top of this, I think, because I quite like the idea of, I keep seeing, you know, on my forever TikTok scrolling, you know, doing colour blobs and then drawing into them. I really like that, I'm entirely honest. So the joys of watercolour, they dry very quickly and they're fun to play with. The opaqueness of it all, so some is really strong, some is really not, you know, and you can play with. My brush is getting drier but it's making really cool strokes, so it's showing like the palm tree bits, and then if I know it's not nice, but then add in the blue flowers here just with a dry brush and a stipple. Do I have a pink? Don't really. There's a little bit there, so it'll be really wet and then dry off. We'll go on there and steal that little bit of pink. Or just make some. I know you're meant to do it on the edge palettes, but I'm a heathen with these. I do wipe them off, so don't worry. But these are just, yeah. There we go. So that one's more blendy. Funsies. Yeah, this little Winsor and Newton set I got from a charity shop. I've obviously replaced. The joy is you can replace the little watercolours in them. This is a water bottle. It comes with its own little travel paintbrush, so it's a real perfect like field art kit. And these I've picked up from Cass over time. I've got multiples, and again I pick up the paints and change them out. These are this is an iridescent one I got from Amsterdam as well. Might put some of that in. Just use the tiny brush. And you can play with, like, the palm tree bits, and then if I know it's not nice, but then if I No, let's use a bigger brush. That is way too tiny for my liking. There we go. So the only thing with these metallic paints, you do have to get them very wet to get any payoff, but you know, they are more of an iridescent topper than an actual colour. So yeah, so this one, see if it will show. So I'll add some up here. It's like iridescent-y green. I'm not sure how well it's going to show, but we'll add some in and paint over it and see what happens. Just for giggles, you know. There we go. How's this one drying off? Pretty much dry, so there's that one. I do like the green. And now we've got this one. So we've got black, white and brown, and I do have where are my pens? Just like a sepia toned pen. So that one, there it is. Sepia tone. These are all black. We have a lot of black pens. There's a green one. There's another green one. I have more brown pens, but I don't. But then again, I'm only really just getting into drawing with brown. So yeah, there we go. So I've got a couple of pens here. So use a photograph. There's our inspo. Oh, there's a great one. But I'm going to go with the flowers first and just work in with these because they're like, oh no, it's a bit wet actually. Start, the greenery is dry, we'll go with the greenery and the flowers down here. Got a blue pen. Got a blue one. There's a pink one, but what purple? No, there's a pink one. It's a bit bright, but we'll roll with it. So yeah, so just a bit of something. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm pleased that this year I don't have any major travel plans. Having done obviously, you know, Paris with my sister earlier in the year. If you haven't seen that, feel free to go and watch the little vlogs because we did film stuff, you know. But yeah, it was very pleasant. But with my mental health right now and how it's kind of not doing the grandest, I'm pleased there are no heavy obligations on myself. My bestie right now, bless her, is very busy with work, so you know, we had a nice video chat. Got to see my little niece, she was babysitting, so that was really nice. My little Delilah, she was, oh, such an adorable human being. I forget how lovely tiny humans are. It's great when they're not mine, but you know, I do love a tiny human. Just wouldn't, you know, I always joke, can't eat a whole one. It's pretty much true because yeah, I couldn't do all that again. Although I am only in my mid-30s and some people are only just beginning families now, I had an early start, and although it's been stressful and you know, I don't think like I've lost out on anything in life, but you know, some people might, but I don't. I love the fact that, you know, I'm now in my mid-30s with a teenager, and we have the most wonderful relationship, and we get along really well, but we also have our own lives and our own hobbies. And I'll be honest, right now, the idea of doing toddler-based stuff or anything like that all again right now, just for the sake of another little human in my life, is not worth it. There are plenty of other people's tiny humans I can borrow, which are much more pleasant to me. So that is kind of how I'm rolling, is I just, yeah, borrow other people's tiny humans. And the fact I'm an auntie is pretty damn cool, I think. So I like that fact. I get to be an auntie because, yeah, joys of adopting, you know, besties and all that. I'm not going to get it from my sisters. One sister might give me a cat. She currently is a spider. I think we might get a cat added to the family. Although, to be fair, Lilu, my beloved little potato, is pretty much a cat. She is a cat who is accidentally Boston Terrier shaped. She is not a dog. So that's always been quite funny for us, that we have, you know, a cat trapped in a dog's body. But yeah, these little irises come out pretty nice. I need to add a little bit more height. These are, I think, Gladioli. Oh, that is a very bright pink. Oh god, that's a fun pink. Is it not? I got these pens from the Design Museum. These are Pentel? Yeah, Pentel brush sign pens. And this one is in neon pink. And oh, it is so good. I also got it in like a green, purple and another colour. Yeah, I've really got into coloured ink pens right now because I think they're just so joyful and so much fun. And yeah, there's nothing wrong. I mean, there's a reason that I've got tattoos with no colours in them, with no black in it, and I'm like, well, why do I have to draw with a sketch with a pencil and then go in? Why can't I just do colour straight off the bat and roll with it, you know? So there is a real enjoyment to it. So yeah, so I do enjoy these kind of things. And the joys of this kind of drawing is you're getting an essence of what you're trying to portray, not exact. If I wanted to go for exact, this wouldn't be a sketchbook, it'd be a realism book of everything being perfect and realistic. And but sketchbooks, it's all in the name. You are sketching, you are just giving an impression of something. You're not trying to, sorry, it shut off. As I was saying, hopefully I didn't cut it off, I like having a teenager, I like having adult conversations, I like that we have interesting discussions. I wouldn't want to go back to forcing. I mean, I still have to force, you know, some bits, but I wouldn't want to go back to, you know, introducing vegetables and all that kind of malarkey. But yeah, but this is really good for my brain. So, is it only a couple of pages in my book? Yeah. Could I do a lot more? Probably. Am I? I don't know. I think once I'm done with this page I might just be quite contently done. But I know all this stuff is now available, and because I've just now recently tidied my table, which was the biggest thing holding me back actually, and also I have obviously you can see by the perspective of this video, I have got a wonderful overhead tripod, or yeah, tripod we'll call it, to give me, you know, easier ways to film, which is nice. So yeah, so this has really been very, very pleasant, and I will say I've enjoyed this. But yeah, I tried filming a weekly vlog. I got up to Tuesday and I realised I just had 2 days of me crying and apologising for just, you know, everything, and I realised no, that's not what I want to be, that's not who I want to be right now, and I don't want to be showing this right now or sharing this, so I decided no. So yeah, deleted those 2 days off and decided I'm gonna be really, really kind to myself, and I have. It's been really nice, but no pressures on myself. I'm doing this creative video because I fancy it, but if I just literally have a day or two and that's all I've got, oh well, that's all I'll put up. But I kind of know me. By giving myself a week and a half to do a video, I can actually take my time, you know. The one I'm not too sure if I'm going to carry on is the crochet podcast thing. I don't know. I love watching them, but I just didn't feel very grand doing it, and it just, yeah, it just wasn't very me. It was a bit too organised for my liking, I think. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to continue them. If you'll let me know. But you know when you're just not 100% heart's not in it, I like talking all my shit during my weekly vlogs, and if you guys get bored you just forward it, you know. Or I might just do the occasional just, you know, crochet place chatty vlog. But I think I made it too specific in that it was like, here is the things I'm working on, here is the things I'm acquiring, these are my plans, this is this, this is that, and I'm like, it's a bit too, it works for others, but, and I like watching it, but I don't think it works for me. So yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna really continue with that. That was a fun try, but I just wasn't feeling it, and I'm kind of learning, if I don't really feel it, maybe don't do it, you know. There's no harm in just going, do you know what, that wasn't quite right. Bearing in mind, as I say, this is entirely therapeutic. This is no, there are no obligations in this. I don't earn money from this. This is literally, you know, just because kind of vibes. We're here for the vibes. That's literally it. Vibes. So I think we are getting to the end of this one. Oh, come on, pen. Yeah, I think that gives that what I want to be showing. Just get my pen off, because acrylic pens and ink pens are not a good mix. There we go. Have I really cut anything and stuck it in? No, not really. I'm not particularly in the mood to do that right now, but I have got all now the available resources, which is great. So, but there we go. Let's see if I can zoom it in from sitting down. I can. Oh, I might need to move my sketchbook up. There we go. So there we go. So this is what we've done. Here is the flower market, and here is my reference. I think that came out pretty good. I like that. And then I did my tattoo, and I've given it a colour background. That is all I've actually done. It's not much, but for someone who literally just wants to curl up, it feels like 24/7 right now, I think that's pretty good progress for something happening today. So yeah, so there we go. Hope you've enjoyed this little bit of sketchbook work. Yeah, we will carry on with other bits and pieces, and there will of course be another just solo sketchbook vlog, because I do like these and it's minimal effort. So yeah, so hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch up with you beautiful folks later. Bye.